بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
We are repulsed by the thought. We cringe at the very idea. We shake and shiver. We are disgusted. We find the whole idea nauseating that a person could eat the flesh of another human. Cannibalism is banned. And not only is it banned, anyone who thinks of indulging in cannibalism, even in the mildest form, is not only a vile criminal, but is severely mentally disturbed and unhinged. And that's how everyone all over the world views such a person. The person is viewed as a freak specimen. But Allah says, why do you engage in the same behavior? When you backbite, and what is backbiting? Backbiting is beautifully described by the Prophet ﷺ. He was asked, what is backbiting? So the Prophet ﷺ said, ذِكْرُكَ أَخَاكَ بِمَا يَكْرَهُ. You're mentioning something about your brother which he dislikes. So someone said, Ya Rasulullah, what about if it's true and it's actually to be found in such a person? Prophet ﷺ said, if it's true about him, then you have bitten his back. And if it's not true, then you've slandered him. So this idea that we have, that, oh, I can say it to his face and therefore it's not backbiting, that's no defense. Backbiting is to mention anything in their absence which they would dislike. Simple. Whether it's true or untrue. In fact, if it's true, it's backbiting. If it's untrue, it's slander. If the person would dislike it, it's backbiting. And so, in fact, وَلَا تَنَابَزُوا بِالْأَلْقَابِ, do not call out to each other with names. Nicknames are bad, unless the person approves of them. If a person likes the nickname and approves of it, not by force and compulsion, if the person becomes so lowly and demoralized and he or she thinks that everyone calls me by this name, I must be that. That's what mental and emotional abuse does. It erodes a person's self-esteem until they actually begin to believe about themselves what others accuse them of. That's what mental and verbal abuse does. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. That's what it does. And you can have extremely powerful, intelligent, successful, striving, enterprising, rich, wealthy people who suffer from extreme low self-esteem. And they live a life of hell and inner turmoil and torment because of their mental, emotional agony, anguish and agitation, despite the power, the influence, the wealth, the glitz and the glamour. Because that's what emotional, verbal abuse does. A person begins to actually believe that about themselves. So, if a person approves of a nickname out of desperation or out of defeat, then that is not permissible. If someone genuinely finds the nickname amenable, appealing, and they like it, then it's permissible. Otherwise, nicknames are haram if the person who is known by that nickname actually disapproves. وَلَا تَنَابَزُوا بِالْأَلْقَابِ, do not call out to each other by nickname, by names. And not even offensive names. So imagine backbiting. The Quran says, when a person backbites, what do they actually do? The victim of their backbiting is like a dead corpse. Helpless, defenseless. And just like a person attacks a dead corpse and cannibalizes it, well, this person verbally, mentally and emotionally cannibalizes their own brother, their own sister, their own fellow. Because like a corpse, the person is defenseless. That's just part of the similarity. So Allah describes backbiting as cannibalism.